Hello and welcome to the story from the lorry. I haven't had too much time to film while working at the yard because things were quite hectic around there. So I haven't had any particular work that worth it filming or stuff like that. So I'm still doing a bit of work on the lorries. And so I thought it would be a good idea to get the GoPro with me and start filming and telling you stories about what is happening within the car trade. So as it says in the first title, BMWs. I'll never get one, but not any BMW. I had BMWs before. They did well. We're happy. We did never had problems. But there's one particular type of BMW. The one with the Peugeot engine, because as you know, PSA, I think that's the name of the group anyway, they made a connection, this kind of bullshit between Peugeot and Citroën and all that stuff, and the BMW, because everyone is making fun about Mercedes dealing with Renault. Well, they're kind of the same. So, BMW with the Peugeot engine. As the 2012 onward editions, with the terminology 16i, 18i, and 20i. Those are powered by 1.6 petrol inline 4 turbo engine, which is built by Peugeot or Citroën. I don't know which one, but anyway, it's that group there, And it's being built by these people. That engine is completely crap. Because first of all, it's the same engine you can find on Mini Coopers, and I did heard like horror stories about the Mini Cooper S. And Mini Cooper Standard has the same 1.6 normally aspirated engine. It's the same block but without the turbo. And we have it on the Peugeot GTI or THP or something, Citroën THP, that terminology as well is the same engine, right? And they have it on the BMW 1 Series, 2 Series, I think 3 Series as well. But the culprit here is the one we had, which it was a 116i. It was a 12 plate, which had a bit of a mileage, 120,000. And we bought it out on the auction. Everything has been fine with it. It did have some bumper damage and stuff like that, which I painted, and everything came nice with it. I drove the car for a whole week myself. I think we did ourselves about over 300 miles in it. Not a bloody problem. Was driving, so I was like, hey, look, what's that? I mean, to be honest, the car is amazing to drive. It's fun, it's sporty. It was one of these urban trim, which has got like heated seats and leather seats and all spec inside, and self-leveling headlights and front and rear parking sensors and everything, so nice car. We listed it for sale. It sold fairly quick, obviously with the usual phone calls, what's your last price? And obviously when you're selling this type of cars like BMWs or Mercedes or Audis or Volkswagen, it's kind of the same people you get first. These people usually just time wasters and just playing their luck to see if they can get a bargain. Not the case with us. And anyway, the car sold to a lady. She came over with her father. Her father he said he's a mechanic. I don't know how much of that was true, but because you can see when someone is a mechanic what he's checking. He didn't check none of the bits, he didn't even look at the brakes. He looked around the engine, around the doors, whatever, just let's go over it. And they liked the car. They went for a drive. They said, "Oh, my drive's amazing." They bought it, and 2 weeks later, I got this text message. So I called her over. I said, "What is going on?" I said, "I was driving the car. Then low coolant sign came on the dash, and the car started blowing steam from underneath the bonnet." I was like, "Okay, so did you have it covered? He said, yeah, I had it covered. And the AA guy said that radiator is broken. I said, well, yeah, we haven't replaced the radiator. Yeah, it is indeed. I will send the recovery guy, because I have a friend I work with. I said, I'll send him to you tomorrow. He will pick up the car, he will drop it off to the garage. We're gonna have a look at it and fix it, no problem. And she was like, yeah, I'm fine with it. These things happens, you know. So she's been cool on that one. And we took the car over. Indeed, there was no water left in the water bottle. No? We put water back again. We took it again for a drive. Nothing was feeling weird. There were no water leaks. There were no sign of water leaking as well around the radiator. So then, after doing a bit of research, it turned out that it's got a pressure valve, like a safety pressure release valve or something, somewhere on the line where the auxiliary water pump is. You know, that was the steam that was coming over, because the problem we discovered after we made a test. Guess what? I will play a small video so you can see what I'm all about. Yes, that was bloody head gasket decided to blow, and it was pushing exhaust gases inside the water system, and obviously was building pressure, and that happened. So we did the bloody exhaust. We did, you know, obviously we had to send the gasket to be rectified, to be planned, the head. New head gasket, new timing chain, new oil, coolant, and everything, you know, all together. Then we discovered, after we put everything together, the auxiliary pump was cracked as well, probably because of the pressure that was being built up into the system. I don't know if the problem was there before, because you get all them dodgy people around, so buying cars from auction, you can never know what you're getting. So what happened, probably the ex-owner that sent the car to the auction and stuff like that, because I think it was a private entry as well. I'm not sure, but I can't remember exactly. It doesn't say on the invoice, so I don't know if it was a private or not. He used that head gasket repair stuff inside the water bottle, inside the engine. From what I've been told, I never used it, but from what I'm told, that's the worst thing you can do in order to fix this problem. And obviously they put that solution in. It did hold for a while. It did hold while we drove it and used it and stuff like that, and then just blown with the customer, which is not something you want, but you know, things happen. So we did a head gasket, we did a timing chain, new oil and everything, filters and all that stuff. We took it off for a test drive. Everything seemed to be fine. And I called her. I said, look, good news, the car is fixed now, drives, everything is fine with it. We're gonna drop it off to you tomorrow. And then on the way to deliver it, this bloody thing came on the back on the dash, you know, low oil pressure. Obviously we pulled over straight away. I said, oh my god, you know, it can damage the engine and stuff like that. But it turned out to be that one of the camshaft adjusters, solenoids, stuff like that. So the thing like works on oil pressure is a solenoid, which is called Vanos, but there's not a Vanos anymore in those engines, which is just variable timing. That was the problem there. So hasn't been too nice when she was really waiting for the car. She was in the car as well, you know. And I told her, look, there is a sensor that is still not in good working order, so I'll have to keep the car for a couple of days to sort it. We ordered the sensors. They were quite cheap, about 28 pounds. Not the easiest way to replace them, because they're somewhere on the side of the engine, and the engine goes like that on the car, so somewhere at the front of it, but somewhere underneath. It's a bit fiddly together, but we did both anyway, so they are two similar. It's one to one each side, you know. We replaced those. The car is fine. It drives now. It's been 2 weeks. I haven't heard back from the customer, so finger crossed nothing else happened, you know. It's just it's been a really funny one, because overall we haven't made any money on this car anymore with the time. and the time wasted and the work we put on it, and we spent about £700 to get a head gasket done because we did some of the work ourselves, and with the timing chain and everything all together is about £750. I think the car made 1,000 profits. Then taking into consideration fuel, which we put into driving back, put it in my car, and coming back, and like 3 days spent and all the parts, yeah, just we can't consider we made a profit on it anymore, although we haven't lost money, but the profits are not profits. It just maybe covers us for a McDonald's menu, nothing else. But I'm not here to bash BMW. I like BMW cars myself overall, although I drive a Mercedes. I'm more a Mercedes guy than a BMW guy. But always be bloody careful with these cars, because a lot of stuff can happen with them. They're well known to not being reliable, especially like the Mini. I mean, you can see it from the Mini Cooper S. They really, really, really messed up the engine on that one. Although the engine is quite tunable, we can push a lot of power to it, but head gaskets, timing chains, and all this stuff is expensive. In our case, we kind of do a lot of work ourselves, which saves us money, but you can never save time. You always have to think how much time you spend yourself on it if you're paying yourself from what you do. So it's a bit of a hit and miss on them, but to be honest, there are no engines, especially on the German cars in general these days. Let's say on the older 10 years old cars, especially BMW, you have the diesel engine with the timing chain issue that snaps, and that would be a huge job because then, everyone knows about the N47 and the timing chain that is at the back of the engine, between engine and the gearbox. And that's a huge job to do because obviously gearbox needs to come down, engine needs to come down as well to do it. I mean, some people are doing it by just removing the gearbox, but I think the easiest way is just to drop the engine off and just sort it out. But yeah, never won again. And stay tuned, I'll have more videos because I have more stories on the way. Story from the lorry. Stay tuned. Please subscribe. Take care.